Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the foundation of our democracy, the United States Constitution. As we navigate the complexities of modern politics, it's essential to understand the historical context and principles that shape our nation. In a recent piece by CBS Sunday Morning, Tony Dokopil explored the history of the Constitution with two esteemed experts, Jill Lepore, author of We the People, A History of the U.S. Constitution, and Jeffrey Rosen, president and CEO of the National Constitution Center. According to Lepore, the Constitution was designed to be a living document, adaptable to the changing needs of the country. Rosen emphasizes that the Constitution is absolutely eternal and timeless, expressing principles that are still relevant today. He notes that the idea that a president should not be a king, that power corrupts, and that we are a government of laws, are ancient ideas of freedom that have been vindicated time and again throughout history. As we examine the current state of our government, it's clear that the checks and balances system is being tested in ways our founding fathers never anticipated. Rosen points out that Congress has stopped acting as a check on presidential power, and the courts have become increasingly powerful in deciding political questions. Lepore's book provides a comprehensive history of the Constitution, from its inception to the present day. She highlights key moments, such as the abolition of slavery and the expansion of voting rights, which have shaped our understanding of the document. As we move forward in these tumultuous times, it's essential to remember that the Constitution is a tool for building a more perfect union. While it may not be perfect, it provides a framework for addressing the challenges we face as a nation. We'll continue to explore this topic and more throughout the show. For now, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the latest developments from around the world. Our middle segment today takes us to Eastern Europe, where tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue to escalate. We have two major stories for you, both related to the ongoing conflict in the region. First, Ukrainian drones have targeted one of Russia's top oil refineries located in the northwestern Leningrad region. The strike on the Kirishi refinery sparked a fire, with reports of explosions and falling debris, causing a blaze that was later extinguished. Ukraine's general staff confirmed the attack, stating that it had carried out a successful strike on the facility. Meanwhile, Russian officials reported that at least 80 Ukrainian drones were shot down overnight over Russia-occupied Crimea and the adjacent Sea of Azov. The drone strikes have caused gasoline shortages in recent weeks, prompting Russia to pause exports until September 30. In response to these developments, U.S. President Trump has called on NATO countries to stop buying Russian oil as a way to end the more than 3-year war in Ukraine. In a letter posted on social media, President Trump stated that he is ready to do major sanctions on Russia if all NATO countries agree to stop purchasing Russian oil. It's worth noting that some NATO member countries, including Turkey, Hungary, and Slovakia, have been buying significant amounts of Russian oil. The European Union has set a deadline to phase out Russian oil and gas imports by 2028, despite pressure from the U.S. to move more quickly. In related news, Polish authorities reported that multiple Russian drones crossed into their airspace on Wednesday, prompting NATO to send fighter jets to shoot them down. The incident has raised concerns about the potential for the conflict to spill over beyond Ukraine's borders. As we continue to monitor the situation in Eastern Europe, it's clear that the conflict between Russia and Ukraine remains a complex and multifaceted issue. We'll keep following these developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to shift our focus to the world of sports, specifically to the Scottish Premiership. We've been following some interesting developments in the league, and I'd like to share some updates with you. It appears that Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers is at a crossroads. According to podcaster Paul John Dykes, Rodgers will only extend his contract if real changes are made behind the scenes. This comes after a tumultuous summer transfer period, which has left many fans unhappy. Rodgers has expressed his desire to stay with the club, but it seems that he's looking for some reassurances from the board. Meanwhile, Rangers head coach Russell Martin is under pressure after a disappointing start to the season. The team is yet to win a premiership game and is currently sitting in 10th place in the table. Despite this, Martin has retained the backing of the Rangers board, but former player Chris Boyd has warned that there's no way back if things don't improve soon. It's also worth noting that there have been some interesting rumors surrounding Hamza Igamane's departure from Rangers to Lille. Apparently, those close to the player suggest that he left because staff at Ibrox no longer gave him confidence, rather than due to any personal desire to leave the club. As we look at these developments, it's clear that there are some significant challenges facing both Celtic and Rangers. As a neutral observer, it's fascinating to see how these teams will navigate their respective situations. One thing is certain, the Scottish Premiership is always full of surprises, and we'll be keeping a close eye on these stories as they unfold. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.